We're on chapter 3 today. All right. One thing about this video, I can see myself and I'm like, oh, there's a random piece of hair. All right. So we are going to be translating words into math. And so here's a bunch of words, just for example. Don't think it's like a big list you have to memorize. Okay. So number one, so we're going to use X for the unknown. So it says 9 greater than a number. So notice it doesn't say 9 is greater than a number. It just says 9 greater than a number. So that's just going to be 9 plus X. Number 2, a value decreased by 7. So that would be X minus 7. Number 3 says 1/2 of a quantity. So that's going to be, of is multiply. So that's going to be 1/2 times X. Or normally we just write 1/2 X. And then triple a number, that would be 3X. And then 5 more than 1/3 of a number. So that would be 5 plus 1/3 X. Number 6, 10 times a number increased by 1. So that would be 10X plus 1. Number 7 says 1/4 of the sum of a number and 5. So that would be 1/4 multiplied by the entire sum. So that's going to be in parentheses, the sum of a number and 5. So X plus 5, that's in parentheses. And then it's 1/4 multiplied by all of that. And then number 8, 4 less than 7 times a number. So you have to watch out whenever you see the phrase less than, because normally on all of these it translates directly in the same order that it's written in the words. It comes out the same way in the mathematical expression. But when you see the word less than, that like reverses the order. Okay, so when you see 4 less than, that means it's going to be something minus 4. Okay, and so then 7 times the number, 7X goes over here. So 4 less than 7 times the number becomes 7X minus 4. Because it's 4 less than that.
What would these things for like?
Well, you could have, let's see, like something decreased by, 4 decreased by something, or minus, or less than 4 less, something less than, difference of. All right. All right, so next we're going to write an equation and solve. All right, so whenever it says what number, then you're going to put the x in place of that, and then added to, so x plus 74 gives would be equals, and then the 265. That would be your equation, x plus 74 equals 265. All right, so sometimes you'll be asked to just give the equation, that'll be part of your answer, or it could be the whole answer. But in this case, they do ask us to solve it. So to solve it, we're just going to subtract 74 from both sides. That's going to be 191. Oops. Sorry. Really let me use the arrow key to scroll it. Okay, so number 10 says 18 less than a number is 23. What is the number? Okay, so again, like, so when you see the word less than, so 18 less than, so it's going to be something minus 18. 18 less than a number, so that would be x. X minus 18 is 23, so equals 23. X minus 18 equals 23, that's the equation. Right. And then what is the number? So we're going to solve it, and that means we need to add 18 to both sides. That would be x equals 41. Okay. So 3 times a number, that would be 3x is 1, so equals 1. And that's the equation. And then to solve it, we would divide both sides by 3. That would give us x is equal to 1/3. Number 12 says 4 less than 9 times a number is 122. Find the original number. Okay, so again, it has the words less than. That's going to kind of reverse the order. So 4 less than means something minus 4. 4 less than 9 times a number would be 9x. So 4 less than 9 times a number, that gives us 9x minus 4 is 122, so equals 122. So that's our equation. Then to solve it, we will add 4 to both sides. So that would give us 9x equals 126. And then we have to divide both sides by 9. And that'll give us x equals 4. All right, number 13 says twice a number, so that'd be 2x, is increased by, so that would be plus 1/3 the same number. So that'll be 1/3 x. And then the result is 42, so equals 42. So that is our equation. And so then we need to find the number by solving it. So we could combine the like terms, but I think we'd rather get rid of the fraction. So there's only one denominator, which is 3. So we just need to multiply across the whole equation times 3. So multiply each term times 3, which would make it 6x plus 1x equals 126. And then we could combine the like terms. So 6x plus 1x equals 7x. So 7x equals 126. And then we can just divide both sides by 7. And then that would be equal to 18. Number 14 says 10 less than double a number is the same as 7 times the number. Okay, so let's see, 10 less than, so that's going to be something minus 10. 10 less than double a number, so double a number would be 2x. Is the same as, so in other words, equals 7 times the number, so that's 7x. All right, so that's our equation, 2x minus 10 equals 7x, and then we need to solve it by getting all the x's on one side. So to do that, I would subtract 2x from both sides. And that would make it negative 10 equals 5x. And then we could divide both sides by 5, which would make it negative 2 equals x. Any questions? All right. We're going to move into some more wordier application style problems.
Number 15 says the Erno Shirt Outlet Store maintains an inventory of 5 times as many shirts in regular men's sizes XL and smaller than it does in plus sizes of 2X and larger. There are 430 shirts in inventory in the store that are regular men's sizes. How many shirts in plus sizes are in inventory? So they want to know the number of the plus size shirts. So let's have X represent that. And it says that they maintain an inventory of 5 times as many of the regular. So 5X would equal the number of regular. And then
it says there's 430 regular ones. So we could say 5x equals 430. And then that's our equation, and we can just solve that for x by dividing both sides by 5. So that would be 86. Plus 5 shirts. Okay. Number 16 says a rectangle has a width of 56 centimeters and a perimeter of 232 centimeters. What is the rectangle's length? So the width is 56 centimeters. And we want to find out the length. So perimeter is the distance around it, like adding up all of the sides. So
you could say L plus 56 plus 56, or you could, that would be fine, or you could use the formula, which is just simplified. So 2L plus 2W with the perimeter. And then we know that the perimeter is 232, so we're going to put 232 in place of P. So 232 equals 2L plus 2W. So we know the width is 56, so we'll put that in place of W. So it'll be 2 times 56 right there. 232 equals 2L plus 2 times 256, and then let's multiply 2 times 56
equals 112. So we've got 232 equals 2L plus 112. So then we just need to subtract 112 from both sides. So that makes it 120 equals 2L, and then just divide both sides by 2, which gives me L equals 60 centimeters. Okay, number 17. The perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 84 inches. Find the length of each side of the triangle. So equilateral means that all of the sides are the same length. So we can use whatever variable you want for the side. You can use L for length, or you could just use X or whatever, it doesn't matter. So the perimeter of that triangle would be equal to X plus X plus X, or in other words, you could simplify that to be 3X. And then we know that the perimeter is 84 inches, so 84 equals 3X, and then just divide both sides by 3. So that would be 28 inches. Okay, number 18 says a rectangular plastic container must be 10 inches long and 4 inches wide. If it must have a volume of 200 cubic inches, how tall must it be? Okay, so the volume of a box or a rectangular solid is equal to length times width times height. All right, and they told us that the volume is 200, the length is 10, and the width is 4, and then we have to figure out the height. So 200 equals 10 times 4 times h. So 10 times 4 is 40. So basically we have 200 equals 40h. Then we can divide both sides by 40. I cancel out one of those zeros. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So that would be 5 inches is the height. Okay, the 14 members of the math club each paid the same dues. The club also earned $350 selling pies. They spent $697 to organize the math contest. Now their bank account, which started with $0, is overdrawn by $25. How much was the membership fee? All right, so you started out with 0, and then each person put in their fee. So there's 14 members. So X represents the fee, which we don't know. So 14 times X was placed in the bank account. Then they earned $350, so add $350 to that. Then they spent $697, so subtract that. And now it's equal to negative 25. All right, so there's our equation that we're going to solve. So 350 minus 697, that's going to be negative, but to figure out how negative it is, we're going to just subtract 697 minus 350. That gives me 347. So 14x minus 347 equals negative 25. And then next I need to add 347 to both sides. Okay, so that's basically the same thing as saying 347 minus 25, which is 322. Oh, crap. I keep forgetting. And then we just need to divide both sides by 14. So 14 into 322. So 14 goes into 32 two times. 2 times 14 is 28. 32 minus 28 is 4. Bring down the 2. And then 14 would go into 42. I believe that would be 3 times. Yeah, 3 times 14 is 42. So X is equal to $23. All right, so 3.4 is going to be pretty much more of the same, except for only real difference is it has 2 unknowns instead of just 1 unknown. All right, so number 1 says a rectangular athletic field is twice as long as it is wide. If the perimeter of the athletic field is 270 yards, what are its dimensions? Okay. So here's the width. And then the length is equal to twice as long as it is wide. So the length is equal to 2 times the width. So perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. And then it tells us the perimeter is 270, so we can plug that in place of P. So 270 equals. And then we're going to plug in 2W in place of the L. All right, so 270 equals 2 times 2W plus 2W. So 2 times 2W gives us 4W. So 270 equals 4W plus 2W. And then we could combine the like terms. 4W plus 2W equals 6W. So 270 equals 6W. And then we're just going to divide both sides by 6. So that's going to be 45 yards is equal to the width. So that's one of the answers, but it did ask for the dimensions, meaning the length and the width. And we already know just that the length is 2 times the width. So 2 times 45 is equal to 90. So the length will be equal to 90 yards. All right, number 2, Samantha has 30 coins consisting of quarters and dimes, which total $5.70. So how many of each type of coin does she have? Okay, so let's say that D would equal the number of dimes. All right, so without using a different variable, I want to write down an expression using that same variable of D to represent the number of quarters. So for example, if I told you that she had 10 dimes, how many quarters would she have? Well, she has a total of 30 coins. So if 10 of them are dimes, how many of them are quarters?
6.
If you just look at this part, she has 30 coins, right? Right. If she has 30 coins, all she has is, they're all quarters and dimes, right? And if I told you, well, 10 of them are dimes, so how many of them are quarters? Right? So to answer that, you would just take the total number of coins, which is 30, and subtract the number of dimes, and that would give you the number of quarters, right? So 30 minus D represents the number of quarters. All right. Okay. All right, so then we can use the like dollar amount to write down an equation. So we know that dimes are worth 10 cents. So 10 cents times the number of dimes plus, and then for quarters, we know quarters are worth 25 cents. So 25 cents multiplied by the number of quarters. So that is the, so this would represent the amount, the total amount of the dimes. That would represent the total amount of the quarters. You add them together and it totals to $5.70. All right, and then now we're just going to solve the equation. All right, so I'm going to distribute 25 cents. Okay, so that's gonna be 750 minus 0.25D. And I'll bring the rest down. So I've got 0.10D plus 750 minus 0.25D equals 570. And then let's combine the like terms. So let's see. So 10 cents minus 25 cents would be negative 15 cents D. And I'll bring the rest down. So 750 minus 0.15 D equals 570. And then I'll subtract 750 from both sides. So negative 0.15 D equals negative 120. And 180. And we just got to divide by negative 0.15. So a negative over a negative is a positive. So it's basically the same thing as saying 15 into 180. And that's 12. All right, so she has 12 dimes. So 30 minus 12 would give us 18 quarters. All right, number 3 says a photograph measures 10 inches by 12 inches and puts it in a frame that adds 2 inches on each side. Find the outer perimeter and total area of the photo and frame. Okay. Okay, so let's say that's the photo. And here's the frame around it. Okay. So that's 10 inches and that's 12 inches. And it added a total of 2 inches. It added 2 inches to each side. So from here to here is 2 inches. And from there to there is 2 inches. All right. So in that case, what would be the width here across the picture frame? 14, because you had the 10 and then you added 2 and 2, so 14 inches. So then what would be the height of the frame? Oh, wait, sorry, was I, oh yeah, no, okay. Right, so then, so the height would be what? Well, the width is 14 because you added, because if that's 2, then that means you also have another 2 over here. Yep. 12 plus 2 plus another 2. Yeah. Okay. So the whole picture frame is 14 by 16. And so to find the perimeter, and it doesn't really matter which one you call length or width. So 2 times 14 plus 2 times 16. So 2 times 14 is 28, and 2 times 16 is 32. And then 28 plus 32 is equal to 60. So perimeter is 60 inches. And then area of a rectangle is length times width. So that would be 14 times 16. That gives me 224 square inches. For the area. Okay. All right, number 4 says, your boss asks you to buy sodas for an office party. She wants you to get a total of 15 2-liter sodas, some Dr. Pepper, some Coke, and some Diet Coke. You decide to get equal amounts of Coke and Dr. Pepper. 2-liter bottles of Coke and Diet Coke cost $1 per bottle, and Dr. Pepper is on sale for 80 cents a bottle. If you spent a total of $13.80 on sodas, how many of each type did you buy? Okay, so, all right, so let's start by saying that X could represent the number of Cokes. All right, then I also want to use X to write down an expression for number of Dr. Peppers and number of Diet Cokes. So what can I fill in for a number of Dr. Peppers? Well, it says that I'm going to get equal amounts of Coke and Dr. Pepper. So if X is the number of Cokes I'm going to get, then X is also the number of Dr. Peppers I'm going to get. Okay, and then what can we do for Diet Coke? So we have a total of 15 bottles that we're going to get. So 15 minus the number of Cokes, which is X, minus the number of Dr. Peppers, which is another X. And that would equal the number of Diet Cokes. 15 minus 2X. All right, and then we can look at the dollar amounts to give an equation. Okay, so Cokes are $1 each. So I'll just say 1X. Then Dr. Pepper is 80 cents, so plus 80 cents times X. And Diet Cokes are also $1, so we'll just do plus 15 minus 2X. And that all equals to $13.80. All right, so we can combine the like terms. So 1 plus 80 cents minus 2, that would end up being negative 20 cents X. And bring the rest down, so at 15 minus 20 cents times X equals $13.80. And next I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. Negative 0.20X
Equals negative 120. And then just divide both sides by negative 20 cents. So it's going to give me X is equal to 6. So that means that you had 6 Cokes and 6 Dr. Peppers. And then we'll do 15 minus 2 times 6. So that's 15 minus 12. So that's 3 Diet Cokes. All right. So I have copies of the test review to give you. Our test will be 1 week from today. And for those of y'all that are not here in person right now, you can get this online, or I'll give you one on Wednesday if you come in on Wednesday. Okay.
I think you went out from last week.
Oh, I did hand them out last week? That's why. Yep. I'm like, man, y'all already printed this out? That's right, I remember that now. All right. I got extras if anybody does want another. Nope. Any questions about anything? Hopefully you guys are doing your homework on my labs and just email me or text me or whatever if you need anything or have any questions. See you Wednesday. How are you doing?
When your multiplying or when you're dividing the same negative and negative becomes positive. But when you're multiplying to negative and positive, I don't know.
It's the same rule when you're multiplying as when you're dividing. So if you
If it's different, then it automatically goes to positive.
If you have any negative times positive, if like one of them's negative and one's positive, when you're multiplying, it automatically is negative.
Like when you're adding, it goes to the bigger number, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
That confuses me. And is there not a shorter way to get there?
Not really. Not really. I mean, sometimes maybe, but
To be accurate?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like when you're, but yeah, when you're adding and subtracting with your negative numbers, I really think like thinking about, you know, a bank account helps the most personally.
I get really confused. Like, it's not even, it doesn't have any brackets, it doesn't have any of that stuff. It's just really long, and there's just as long of a problem on this equal side as there is on this equal side, and I forget how exactly to go first.
Mm-hmm.
And so my questions always come out fairly wrong, and
Yeah.
it makes me so mad.
Yeah.
It makes me so frustrated.
I
So
understand.
I finally like got it, and then we went to a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
I'm getting it, like it's not difficult, it's hard.